We're doing a geometric series using the formula for it. All right, what are we asked to do? We're asked to find what the sum, adding them all up, of the first 7 terms in the following geometric series. Okay, here we are. Do not round your answer, it tells us. All right, let's just go ahead and make sure we practice trying to memorize the formula for a geometric series. The sum of the first n terms is equal to the first term, and we use the variable a, the first term times 1 minus the common ratio, or I like to call it a multiplier. What's the multiplier for the geometric series? The common ratio to the power of n, where n is how many terms we're talking about, divided by 1 minus our common ratio. So I would really recommend you writing this down in like a cheat sheet until you have it memorized. Every time you use it, you should always write it out to help you memorize it. And if you keep forgetting about what these variables represent, then definitely you should include that in your cheat sheet or in your process of memorizing. All right, but I think I'm okay. A is the first term, R is the common ratio, N is the number of terms. All right, so filling in what we have here. So we're looking at the sum of the first 7 terms, and that's going to be equal to, the first term is 1,024. Remember, whatever they give you first has to be the first term unless they tell you otherwise. So that's always the first term. Order matters here. So what they give you first is the first. First term times 1. Oh, shoot. What was that? Wait. That wasn't me. Sorry about that. All right. 1 minus the common ratio. Okay, I haven't checked it out yet. What is the common ratio? Well, remember how I told you to solve it? So if these are our first 2 numbers, and I just look at the first 2 since these are kind of big and I'm not worried about it, it's going to be the second divided by the first. And in this case, that's going to be what our R is. And remember, it doesn't matter if it's the 3rd divided by the 2nd or the 8th divided by the 7th. You're just dividing them to give you the ratio or whatever it multiplies to give you the next one. All right, so just going ahead and do this. That would be 512 divided by 1024. And just as a little helpful hint, notice that this the number on top is smaller than the number on bottom. So that means this is going to evaluate as a number less than 1. As a multiplier, when we multiply something less than 1, it's going to keep getting smaller and smaller. If the number is greater than 1 as a multiplier, it'll get bigger and bigger. And notice what we have here. These numbers are getting smaller and smaller. So everything kind of makes sense. So if you forget about what goes on top, first or second, that kind of helps you. All right, so let's just go ahead and... Oh, I was going to get my calculator out, but it looks like 512 goes into 1,024 twice. 1/2. And let's just confirm 1/2 of 512 is 256. Yep. So everything looks good. So there's our R. So that's going to be 1/2 for our multiplier. Our common ratio. I need to stop using that. Now it's to the 7th power. So even though it's to the n right here, you have to put this in parentheses. Otherwise, it would mean it's just to the 1 to the 7th. But 1/2, all of R is to the 7th power. All divided by 1 minus 1/2. All right, let me go ahead and get rid of this stuff down here. All right, go ahead and think about how you would solve that. I'll go ahead and think myself as I'm getting rid of this. Okay, let's see. So order of operations says we do exponents first. So, well, parentheses. So I'm looking at this parenthesis, and then I reset, and exponents come first. So this would be 1024 times 1 minus 1/2 times 1/2, 1/2. So the exponent applies to the 1, the exponent applies to the 2. This is one of the only times I count on my fingers. So I'm counting on my fingers right now, and this is how many 2's I'm using. 2 times 2 is 4, 8, 16, 32, 64. 64 times 2 is 128. That's 7 fingers. 128 is what I got. And on the bottom, 1 minus 1/2 is just 1/2. All right. Then next is, so it was separated by the divide sign, so that's why I took care of it that. 1 minus this, well, you're just taking 1 off of it. So this is like a whole. So that's going to give us 1, 0, 2, 4. So this is equal to 1 minus that, and use a calculator if you need to, or do it by hand. But this one's just a little math trick. You're just taking off 1 out of the whole. So that's going to leave you with 127 left over 128. All over 1/2. I've been trying to resist using a calculator. Looks like I no longer can wait. Does 128 go into 124? I bet it does, 1024. All of these seem like they're divisible by 2. So 1024 divided by 128. Yep, 8. So these reduce. 128 goes into 1024 8 times. That turns into 8 times 127 divided by 1/2. So I still don't have these memorized even as a math teacher. I just go ahead and break it down every time. So I'm going to treat that as a fraction bar. So 8 times 127, 1016. Here's that divide sign. That's that divide sign, 1/2. So it just flips it, changes it to multiply. So getting kind of tight over here. 1 6 times 2. And there's our final answer. 2032. So let's just go ahead and summarize what just happened here. Find the sum of the first 7 terms in the following geometric series. Do not round your answer. So we're adding up the first 7. We don't even need to see the rest. We're just using the formula. This is our first term. So it goes in here. There's our first term, A. The common ratio I had to find. I just divided it. And there's our common ratio, which was 1/2. Everything's just kind of reducing by 1/2. And then n is the number of terms, which was 7. So I plugged all that into here. Order of operations says we take care of the parentheses, and inside the parentheses has an exponent. We would do that first. So let's go ahead and apply it to top and bottom, depending on your fraction. Subtract it, finishing off the parenthesis here. That's what I got. And then go ahead and multiply the top. I reduced 128, changed the divide sign, and so basically this 2 is just multiplying to the top. 2032. Okay, let's see if the next one's any different. All right. The common ratio is 4. First term is 3. So the common ratio in the geometric series, so they're giving you R. The first term is 3. That's the A. Find the sum of the first 8 terms. That's our N. So S of N, always rewrite the formula, equals A, parenthesis 1 minus R to the N. That's an N. All over 1 minus R. And this is done exactly the same way. So I've seen some of the problems where they solve for A or they solve for a different letter. So you're just plugging things in and you solve it like you normally would. So come to class with questions if you get any of those and you get stuck on it.